I wanted to share a reminiscence of Dr. Cook, Steve Cook. I was thinking today about two mentors I've had in my life who did something that I really aspire to be able to do for my students. And they did what St. Philip Neri did, reportedly, with a young man he had sort of known as he grew up, and he runs into him in his early 20s on a street in Rome, and asks him, what are you doing? What's up in your life? And the man starts to tell him about his studies and his aspirations, and Philip Neri is just enthralled. He says, and then what? And then what? And as the young man's plans unfold for him, he himself flourishes and is inspired to think beyond the next step and beyond that step and beyond that step because of St. Philip's inspiration. But the inspiration is that St. Philip himself gives him the impression that he is inspired. Like St. Philip is inspired by this young man's plans, but in fact he's the one inspiring the young man as he kind of thinks his way through life and thinks his way toward the transcendent. And I remember the way this happened in the classroom is that, especially I remember this modernism seminar that Dr. Cook gave, and he would sit there with the book out in front of him, like T.S. Eliot or Chaim Potok, who somehow became like the center of modernism for us in that seminar, and he would sit there like passing his hands over the pages, and he would be like, "This is amazing. What is going on here?" And then a student would say something, and he would go. And he was, this massive man. I heard later that he had like a gastric bypass surgery and became diminished. But in my memory, like his proper size was this massive Falstaffian figure with this jowl like a wild turkey, but this face that was just so handsome. It was, this shock of full hair and this tanned, skin and perfectly etched, incredibly handsome face, and the whole bulk of him would fall back. Oh, and he would loll his head to one side and say, "Oh, of course," the slag back again onto the book and be like, "Yes," and it was just like, and it was just like you had just inspired him, which of course wasn't true. Of course he hadn't, he had thought about these things before. But I don't think it was just acting. Like he was genuinely inspired and energized and enthused by the thoughts of these like 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. And it was just beautiful. And that's the way that his inspiration worked for me. And besides that, he and Terry invited me over for Easter dinner one very, very lonely Easter. And that was a lifesaver. So thank you, Steve Cook. Thank you, Terry. And with great affection and love, I say, Steve Cook, may his soul, by the mercy of God, rest in peace.